You will not get a hello if you move to Mexico. Our video of the day comes to us from Mexico City, where rioters looted businesses and harassed tourists in protest of Westerners immigrating to their country and driving up prices. Let's just roll the tape.
Pues el día de hoy estamos luchando contra la gentrificación, es decir, gente que viene de otros países, en su mayoría extranjeros, a querer imponer su cultura, sus precios y desplazar a los mexicanos, a los nativos de estas tierras.
Vengo porque la gentrificación solo es un paso más a la colonización, a los despojos y a que exploten nuestros recursos.
So wait, these agitators are sick of foreigners coming, taking advantage of their system, and refusing to assimilate? The irony levels are off the charts. What's next? Mexicans complaining that our water gave them diarrhea? You know, Kat, I'm always happy when the poop joke actually has some kind of meaning to it. That wasn't just some kind of, like, ridiculous, off-the-cuff poop joke. That had real substance.
Well, if you're happy, then I'm happy for you.
Thank you. What do you make of this ironic event?
I feel like it wasn't that long ago that we did see who some of these people were. It's, you know, the hipster class. It's the white hipsters with the laptops, with the remote jobs who are like, it's so cheap here, I'm moving here. And I am wondering how they are handling it. Because a lot of them are probably like, well, they don't mean me, right?
Yeah.
They're probably like, no, when I go to the coffee shop, I say, hola.
I'm sure they love it when you walk in and you go, oh, things are so cheap in this country.
Yeah. They probably are walking around, hola.
Hola, ¿dónde farmacia? Viagra.
I bet some of them are probably will be protesting with them at some point. Oh, exactly. Anything but leaving.
Yes.
They're going to be picking up a sign, yes, lo siento.
You know, Loftus, I bet you've thought about this, because if you move to Mexico, you could probably get a huge cardboard box for the price of a small one here.
Yeah.
Deluxe.
You could get like a 3 refrigerator down there.
Yeah. Is that
for like nothing?
Yes.
It's great. I love this. I celebrate the people of Mexico protesting this. This is fantastic. These white Americans going down there and taking the jobs that they don't want. You know, without white people in Mexico, who's going to complain about the service at Starbucks? Who's going to bitch about the BMWs and all of that wonderful stuff? It is kind of a colonization, and maybe it's just the affluent whites. Maybe we should send like a lower people on the socioeconomic totem pole, like Los Angeles. They have a homeless problem, you know? Send them down there. We should have ambassadors all over the globe. One night you're drunk in a Ralph's parking lot, the next day you wake up in Iraq.
Yes. And you're not missing a kidney. We give you an extra one. You have 3 kidneys. Charles, it would be funny. It just made me think that, like, let's say you go to Mexico and you walk into a Starbucks and it's all, like, skinny white beta males. Like going, oh, I may help you. My name's Tad.
I can envision, though, like the old stereotype, you know, the ugly American.
Yeah.
And like all of these protesters screaming and saying, speak English! Speak English! I don't know what the hell you're saying! Speak English! You know, I could just see that happening, too. So, listen, prices going up, okay. I mean, I don't know. It doesn't feel real. It feels like, you know, a few people were paid to just go out there and, you know, make a few bucks. It's so vital for their economy to get this kind of money. And where they're going, it's like, you know, it's not the heartland. It's like not the rural area where,
yeah,
you know,
isn't it the tourists, their number one kind of...
Oh, sure.
Yeah.
That and the cartels, yeah.
Yeah.
And there's nobody protesting the cartels, right? So.
That is a good point. You don't want to lose your head, so to speak.
Oh, God.
Michelle, you know what's funny is their big criticism is assimilation. And I mean, what is wrong with assimilation? Nothing is wrong with it.
I think this story proves that everybody likes borders.
Yeah.
You know, if we're xenophobic, then what is this? Is this xenophobic?
Mm-hmm.
It used to be that everyone wanted to be like America. Like, we want their Levi's, we want their movie stars and their movies, you know, we want their rock singers. Now they just want our protests.
Yeah.
And they want like words like colonization and, you know, gentrification and all those cool words. It's like all those kids in that protest went to Columbia and Harvard and then went back home and threw the same protest that they're throwing in America because it's really chic.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm happy to make the trade.
Yeah.
Send all of our Americans back. We'll take them, and then you take all of yours, especially the
I would,
criminals.
you know, I'll take some hardworking Mexicans any day over. I'll take 10 hardworking Mexicans over one brown graduate. Brown the college.
Yeah.
Just wanted to make that clear. Should have used a different college.
Yeah.
You only had like 8,000 to choose from.
I know.
It was subliminal, don't worry.
It was better that you also looked at him when you said it. Good save, though.
I am not xenophobic. Although I don't like the warrior princess. Oh, that's xenophobic.
This segment from the 5 exemplifies for new signature blend of Karkam's vocally and cultural critique while targeted American expat in Mexico and spinning how complex issue into comedic jabs about identity, borders, and reverse colonization. At face value, the panel is reacting to report of protest in Mexico against American digital nomads, who are blamed for driving up local prices and displacing native communities. But instead of taking it seriously, the host turn the irony into entertainment. Greg Gutfeld mosques the situation as a poetic justice. Americans now fancy the same backlash that anti-migrant was in the U.S. direct at migrants. Rather than unpacking the legitimate frustration in Mexicans dealing with gentrification by wealthy foreigners, the panel frames it a joke, reinforcing stereotypes about white hipsters with laptops or assimilating Americans and ugly American tourists. Their humor veers into condescension, suggesting that the protests are exaggerated or staged, ignoring the real economic inequality and housing pressure locals might be facing. Even deeper, the segment functions as a passive defense of borders and national identity. Michael bluntly says everyone likes borders and also subtly endorsement of immigration restriction cloaked and the irony of see even Mexico wasn't to keep foreigners out. This conveniently reinforces conservative talking points about assimilation and cultural preservation. The closing line, preferring 10 hard-working Mexicans over one brown graduate, is meant to be funny, but hits a disturbing note. It reduces people to stereotypes: Mexican as laborers, heavy leisure, grains as lazy elites. Unlimitedly, the whole bit disguises xenophobia as humor. It laughs off real grievances by mocking the woke left global elites. But behind the punchlines lies a deeper message. Nationalism isn't just for Americans evermore. No isn't a global expert.